Good morning. It is 5:27 a.m. on Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. It's day 5 of the fast. I'm glad these days are going by. I had a wonderful night's sleep last night, and I'm very grateful for that. Yesterday was pretty rough. We had a lot of work to do, like I said, and I also said, I will just place it in God's hands and let Him pull me through the day, and we'll see what happens. And strange things, happen. I mean, we had to unload 28 chairs into 2 rooms. We had to take them into a building. The only way I knew to get into this building was to walk a half a mile with these chairs. And the guy I was working with, he had been working in these 2 rooms the day before, and he knew a different way, and it saved us so much walking, so much effort. I mean, you just would not believe it. We went in a different door that was around the back of this building. This building complex in Charlottesville, it's where their main hospital is, and then they have another one called the West Building, and then they have, in the middle of that, they have 2 college halls. One's called Penn Hall, and one is called I would never can remember that name, McKee Hall or something like that. But past the West Hall, West Building, there's an entire street that you access that's on the other side of the building. And the hallway in this thing is about, I want to say, a half a mile long. Long story short, he was going in a different door that I'd never been in. And I had driven past this door many times, going to their main hospital loading dock. And we went in that door and we got the job done. And it was wonderful. I mean, I could not believe it. Early in the morning, we went to this. We had like 4 jobs yesterday. And 3 of them was in Charlottesville, and 1 was just outside of Charlottesville. And we got, there's these 2 cool screens that we had to build. They're little rolling screens that go next to a desk, and we had 4 coat hooks we had to drop off. That was our first job in the morning. And then the second job was at 28 chairs. And then the third job was, what the hell was the third job? 28 chairs. The fourth job was dropping off 1 chair 10 miles away from all the other jobs we did. I can't remember what the third job was. Let's see, we had the screens, we had the chair, we had the 28 chairs. Oh, we had to pick up 6 chairs. Well, 5 chairs from another building, which was a pain in the ass. So, first job was the screen, second job was the chairs, third job was picking up 5 chairs from this building. That was kind of a little bit of a pain in the ass because they don't give you any truck access, and I was driving our big truck, which I call Bertha. Bertha's a wonderful old Freightliner. My boss calls it 26. I think it's a 24, but he calls it 26-foot box truck. Wonderful truck. She just has a spirit of gold. It's just a wonderful. It's hard to explain. It's a guy thing. I don't know if women get this kind of attachment to machines, but when a man has a vehicle that has always done well for them, and that vehicle's been in your life for. And I think, actually, I will say this: women do get that, because I've heard this before about women who've got cars that they love. And as a matter of fact, my wife had a car she loved, a '99 Honda Accord. It was an LX. It was a plain LX, but she loved that car. But anyway, Bertha, wonderful big old truck, but she's huge. She's huge. Going through Charlottesville is a pain in the ass on her. But she's a great truck. Anyway, so we got there. We got the 5 chairs. It was a little bit of a pain in the ass about tracking down the 5 chairs because my contact wasn't there. And these samples, when you drop them off, look, I got no memory. Okay, so I don't have one of these photographic memories. I take pictures of everything. I put everything on my iPhone, and that's what I did. I went back on my iPhone about 2 weeks, and there were the pictures. And the paperwork said pick up 6 chairs. I only saw 5 chairs in the picture, and I called my boss and I said, "Hey, dude, am I picking up 6 or 5 chairs?" He said, "No." She said it was 5 chairs. I said, "Cool." And people were moving in there. It was fun to watch. It's always fun to watch people who are moving into a space and they're having a good experience. And these people were having a good experience, and that was wonderful. And it's a wonderful new build. They redid this whole building. It looks beautiful inside. For one thing, I want to say to people, okay, our colleges are getting a crap reputation. They really are. And it's unfortunate because our colleges aren't all about political activism. Some of our colleges do some amazing work for the community. And Charlottesville does some stunning community service work. I'm just telling you, they do so much for the city, the people who live around the city, and not just, there are people coming from 50, 60, 70 miles away to go to Charlottesville to their hospitals and stuff. And that's what I ran into yesterday after we did our 3rd job. And this is where you take the time to pay back what God gives you. And that's what happened yesterday. And I felt so honored that God chose me to do this. And I'll tell you in a minute. So we got those screens done. We got the hooks dropped off. The lady showed us where everything was, which is wonderful. Before that, we couldn't find that lady for that first job. And this guy walks by, and I just asked him a question, and he got way involved. I mean, the guy literally tracked that lady down and took me right to her workstation. That's amazing. And that's the quality of people I'm working for down here in Central Virginia. That would never happen in Washington, D.C. It just wouldn't happen because people are beat down in Washington, D.C. It's not because they're bad people. It's just because the working conditions suck in Washington, D.C. But in Charlottesville, this guy was just walking by. We watched him come into his job and watch him. He came in the door and he was looking at us as I was walking around trying to find the person. He spends 15 minutes tracking down the lady. And she was in another building. And we went into the other building and there she was. She showed us where to build these things. We built them and put them up. They look nice, thank God. I thought they had wheels on them. I thought the casters were missing and they were in the second package. And thank God that showed up. My coworker, Rich, was and we built that. So we got and then we went to the other job with the 28 chairs. We got that done, and that went wonderful. It was fantastic. The lady came to sign for those, and there was a big controversy about where the job was for 2 days. But thankfully, Rich had worked there and he knew where the rooms were. And then when the lady came and signed for the chairs, which a lot of times I can't get sign-offs because it's just a strange thing about our jobs sometimes that the people are just not there. they're busy working somewhere else, or they're off, or whatever. But anyway, if I take a picture, luckily in Charlottesville, if I take a picture and it's at one of our college deliveries, I can take a picture, and I called my boss, hey dude, and he says, yeah, it's okay. So anyway, got the second job signed up for, went to the third job, got those 5 chairs, confirmed that they were the right chairs. Oh my God. We were walking into this job, and I was talking to Rich. Rich was rolling we had a commercial bin. He said, do you think we should take a commercial bin? And I said, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Because I remember one chair was kind of a pain in the ass to move it. I didn't remember why. And he was walking to my right, and I was walking to the left, and I was looking over to where I could have backed Bertha in. I wasn't looking where I was walking. And I was going, yeah, I could have parked over, and I walked right into a light post. Full speed, man. I mean, I went slammed. The light post went right here, right there, right across my whole body. I went slam. I was like, oh my God, I haven't done that. I don't think I've done that in maybe 25 years. I don't think I did that in 25 minutes. I slammed that post like a gangster, man. Like one of them things you see on YouTube, I was like, yeah, I could have parked Bertha over. Slam! Well, I guess I tried to move that post. He said, yeah, that post moved a little bit. I was just glad it got the side of my nose right here. It didn't get full on because I broke my nose several times, and I thought for sure I was going to have a nosebleed, but it didn't. I didn't have a nosebleed. So I got these 5 chairs, and we're coming out with the chairs, and God, they were nice chairs. Oh, they were really nice chairs. Nice leather executive chairs. Woo, nice. And roll them to the truck, and Rich gets yelled at by this lady, and she was just trying to get his attention, and he didn't know what was going on, and he's talking to the lady, and I walked over to her, and she said she was real country. She was old like me, but she was older than me. She was like probably 80 years old, and her husband looked like he was maybe 85, and they were in the car, old Buick, 4-door. And she goes, I've been looking for, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to simulate her voice. No disrespect. I love this lady. I love her husband. They're like family. Instantly I saw. I said, like, you know what, these two people remind me of my relatives down in North Carolina. They remind me of every Virginian senior I've ever dealt with who has a golden heart. And she was in trouble. And she goes, I've been trying to find this. I can't simulate her voice, but anyway, she says, I've been trying to find this hospital for a half an hour. I've been all over this city, and I can't find this hospital. And I told her how to get to the hospital, but she's about 2.5 miles away. And I said, you got to go down to this light, you take a right, and then you go down the road about 2 miles. It's kind of twisty, and you come under a walking bridge. Well, it's a walking bridge, and you take a right, and then it's right there. She says, I never find that hospital, and I'm late for an appointment. I'm going to be late for an appointment, and I got to get there. And you know, she was right. She was right. She's never going to find it because it was a little distance away. She was confused, and she needed to get there. And I said, you know what? You got how late are you? She said, well, I got to be there in 45 minutes. And I said, well, follow me. You got time? I'll look. You got time, like 5 minutes where I can jam these chairs in this truck? She said, sure, I can follow you. And I said, okay, follow me. And I loaded the truck as fast as I could because I knew every second I was wasting was another second she wasn't going to be on time for her appointment. So we got the stuff jammed in the truck. Rich got his box put in, and I got the 3 chairs wrapped up, and we got in the truck. And I walked over to her car and I said, look, I'm going to go slow so you ain't got to, race. When we get close to there, I'll show you where it's at. And here's another thing. I was concerned because, it's a crazy place up there in Charlottesville. Traffic's kind of crazy and kind of dangerous sometimes. And I didn't know how I was going to get out and show her where the hospital was when I got close, And because you can't take for granted that people know what you're saying, You got to communicate, right? So we got close to the hospital, and there's a red light, and it never catches me. I always get through it, but this time it caught me. And I said, this is the chance. I popped the air brake on Bertha, and I hopped out the truck. She was right behind me because she had been right behind me. She was almost dangerously behind me because she didn't want to lose me, And I ran back there and I said, man, we're going to take this right turn. When we take this right turn, go up the hill, it's on the right-hand side. And you're parking, you go past it, you park on the left-hand side, and then you walk back. But I said, you're right here. The hospital's right here. And she said, thank you so much. I said, you're so welcome. And she got there. I told Rich, I said, man, when we get past up here, I told her do me a favor, put your arm out the window, because you gotta, in a big truck like this, the box of the truck blocks the windows and everything. To see an arm out the window, you gotta reach way out. I said, do me a favor when we go past, and I'll go past slow. Just, we get to the hospital, just put your right arm out and point there, And I saw her, she drove in. She drove into where the receiving was. So she got there. So, I mean, it's an insignificant little thing. But, when you see people in trouble, and she was a little bit in trouble because her husband, they both had health ailments. And she was flustered, And she wasn't going to get to this appointment. She wasn't going to get there. And I was honored that I was chosen to do that. So, every day you can help somebody. If someone's coming to a door and they've got a handful of stuff, or they've got their kid next to them, and unfortunately the kid is too small, or the kid just doesn't know how to open a door for their mommy or whatever, open that door up, and hold the door open for the little munch too, You just gave an example to that child to learn from, of goodness, and just by a simple action, I was so happy when I saw that car go in there, because it wouldn't have mattered what. They could have been the most immigrant family that ever came to America. They could have been wonderful black Americans. They could have been anybody. But that age group is my heroes, because they go through so much, because they've seen so much, and they need a little help. I was able to give them a little bit of help. And that's what I tell you on this channel, or what I ask you. I don't tell you anything on this channel, is just take a little time out of your day. Especially yesterday, it was hectic, and I was trying to get done. But at the exact right time, God brought these two people to me and said, hey, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to help these two people. And I said, okay, let's work this out. And it might took 7 minutes out of my day. But it made that lady's day. It made that lady's day. And her husband, they were fighting some health challenges. And because I was a good person yesterday, these good people got to those good people at the Charlottesville Hotel. Well, at the hospital. The hotel. And that made my day. That made my day. Because I recognize where that came from. I recognize who guided me to be in that position. And that, people who are not. I gotta blow my nose. I'm sorry. I gotta blow my nose because I gotta blow my nose. I got nothing to blow my nose on. All right. I gotta go all the way in the kitchen. Anyway, that wonderful lady and her husband got to the hospital. And we went on and we dropped off our last chair. And every job yesterday went so smooth, it's scary. It was scary because I'm not used to my day going that good. And like I said, the good Lord will provide, right? He'll help you. And He helped me all day yesterday. And I got back to the warehouse, and it's the weird thing about this. Reason I'm telling you all this is because as of yet, I have not. Now I'm having my four mushroom pills. As of yet, I have not drank that chocolate milk. I did, after we got done with dropping the lady off, I stopped off at a store and I got two, I was going to get 2 Cokes. But the high fructose corn syrup is in a Coke, and I'm trying to stay away from that. I was watching Dr. Sten Ekberg, and he said that high fructose corn syrup, he said that fructose, believe it or not, is a sugar that your body doesn't use. Your body uses glucose. But he said that fructose gets stored in the liver. So it's like a poison. Coke went from sugar you can use, which is half glucose, half fructose, to all poison. High fructose corn syrup is a poison. It gets stored in the liver. It causes fatty liver disease. These are my krill pills that I take every day. I take them every day, even on the fast. These are outstanding for heart ailments. So, anybody who has blood pressure problems, whatever, what the krill oil does is it helps your blood vessel. Now, the thing is about this is you can get the same benefit from krill oil from eating like baked fish, by people who eat seafood. I guess they have less heart ailments. I bet you if you checked it, they would. So I'm gonna get these in here. But yesterday I got back to the warehouse, and I got, as it always happens with this fast, when I get done with what I'm doing, I got pretty sick at the warehouse, and it was the kind of sick that a quart of chocolate milk would have fixed. But I want to stay in autophagy. I want to stay where my body is attacking things inside my body to break them down to use them for fuel. Oh, hey, you know what? Let me do one thing while we're here. I'm going to be right back. Woo! So my weight's at 193.6, and like I said before, I don't care about that. But at least I'm not at 184. I think I got to 184 on one of my fasts. But I'm surprised because that was a lot of effort yesterday. But I did stop and get some lemonade, which I checked the ingredients list on that, and it was real sugar. And boy, was it real sugar. Holy crap, I drank half of that and I went, what the blank, how much sugar's in this? I looked at it, was like 53 grams of sugar in this damn thing. And I bought two of them because they were like on sale, 2 for XYZ, you know, it was like 2 for like $3. And, but I finished the one and I just said, I can't drink this other one. So, but, I got back to the warehouse and I think that lemonade, that sugar, might have been part of the reason I felt so bad. And because you get a high up and you get a crash. And unfortunately, when you're on a fast and you drink refined sugar like that, it's like I said before, my body just does not like that kind of high dose of sugar. And I get that reaction on the naked juices too. This is another thing I saw on Dr. Sten Ekberg's video. I saw it yesterday, I think it was. He was talking about juices. He says that unfortunately, the juices that everybody sells are pasteurized, which means they're heated. He says that destroys the nutrients that's in it. You're better off making your own juices. He said that the regular, and he qualifies that too from the standpoint of, well, he didn't say this, but I'm going to say this. A brand like Naked that's all fruit juices is different than a brand like Minute Maid that's all concentrate, that's different like another brand that's the cheapest crap you can buy. You know, so there's a range of destruction of nutrition. But the bottom line was, he said, don't buy a store-bought juice. Just don't do it. If you're going to do it, make your own juices. And he said that proteins will stop. I was watching a video. He has a video about autophagy, about encouraging autophagy. It's about 8 months old, I think. Anyway, he said if you eat protein, then you'll stop autophagy. If you ingest sugar and proteins, you'll stop autophagy. He said he does not recommend ingesting a bunch of sugar if you want to have autophagy. So anyway, I had that sugar yesterday. Maybe I stopped my autophagy, I don't know, but boy, it really didn't help. The things that help me are my home tea and my Deer Park water. And there's really not that much. I do drink he said something about Earl Grey tea has bergamot in it, which is a spice that helps autophagy, which ironically, I drink Earl Grey tea with peppermint, and it's just a wonderful drink. So I had some of that yesterday. I do, if I needed it, I would take some of that Swiss Miss hot chocolate. That does help. Something about the chocolate in that really does help. But they must use real chocolate in that. But I'm trying to stay the course, you know. I haven't ate yet, and I did go number 2 yesterday. So that's 4 days in, and I'm still clearing waste out of my body, which is wonderful. My eyes are a little bit better, as you could see me reading the phone. And they always do get better on the fast. My mental clarity I can't tell you how wonderful it is to take a fast, and after 5 days, your brain starts clearing up. You know, it's amazing. I've done fasts. Well, I've been doing fasts for a year now, every month from the 1st to the 7th. Thank you to the young lady. I got to go back and find out where she was and thank her for making that suggestion, because it makes it so simple. The first week of the month, you just do the whole week. And but when I first started this, the first 2 days my brain cleared up, because I carry a brain fog around with me everywhere I go, and I think it's from the crap that's in our food. And but man, I mean, it's just amazing. And mental outlook gets better. My insides, this fast is the single best thing I've done for my insides in the last 50 years. And I mean it, 50 years. I mean, I was a kid having gut problems. And when my insides get empty, and I go these, once a day bowel movements that get the rest of the waste out, and all I'm drinking is Deer Park water, and I'm drinking my home tea, and I'm drinking some herb teas, and I'm trying to stay away from. I do put a little bit. I drink coffee, but I make my coffee. I don't usually buy coffee outside because it's so awful, and I only put a little dip of half and half in it, and so I'm not supporting my body. My body's having to go inside of itself and fix it. Anyway, this turned into a half hour. I'm about to be late for work. It's wonderful. Anyway, today is supposed to be a relatively easy day. We want to thank the good Lord for being in our lives, and we want to thank Him for what He helped us with yesterday. And I hope that the wonderful old lady and her husband got to their doctor's appointment. I hope that you understand God's in your life. He's right next to you. He's going to help you. All you got to do is say, hey, man, I'm having a tough time here. Could you please help me, Lord? And it won't happen in the way you expect, but He'll help you. I hope you have a wonderful day. It is now, 5:59 on Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. And I'm late for work. Y'all have a wonderful day. God bless you. And we're going to see you on the next video. Just remember, God's there to help. All you got to do is ask. He's right next to you right now. Have a good one, folks. God bless.